So there is this narration that is making its rounds, which says that Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu buried his daughter alive. Wa'dul banat, burying children alive, especially the female children, the daughters, was a practice among the Arab. Now there is a narration where Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu speaks in the first person, and he mentions, I took my daughter, my beard was soaked in my tears, and then she tried to console me, she tried to play with my beard, but I ended up burying her. This is the narration making its rounds. But be aware, my dear brothers in Islam, that this narration has no sound chain of transmission. No sound chain of transmission. Some scholars say this is a blatant lie with regard to Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu, fabricated by the misguided groups of Islam, namely the Shia and the Rawafida. So this is a blatant lie. And how do we prove that this is a blatant lie? Because there is no proper chain of transmission, and probably it's a fabricated story. Wherever this narration is mentioned in the books of history, it is mentioned to point out there is a weakness in the chain of transmission. And a big proof of this narration being false is the daughter of Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hafsa binti Umar RadiyAllāhu anha. She was the daughter of Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu. If Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu had the habit of burying his daughters alive, wouldn't he have buried Hafsa RadiyAllāhu anha also? She was born 4 years before the prophethood. She was born 4 years before prophethood, before the advent of Islam, but Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu did not bury her alive. And the nickname, the acronym, the kunya, as Arabs, today if there is an Arab, you refer to him by his first name. For example, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, if you refer to him, oh Muhammad, come here, the Arab would get offended. Why? Because there is this kunya culture within the Arabs. What is the kunya culture? The acronym, they prefer that they are called by their kunya. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's kunya was Abul Qasim, after his first son who passed away, radiyallahu anhu. Umar radiyallahu anhu also had the kunya Abu Hafs, named after his first daughter, Hafsa radiyallahu anha. So, if Umar radiyallahu anhu was satisfied and pleased to have his kunya named after his daughter, would it be even logically acceptable for him to bury his daughter alive? No. Then Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu himself, he narrates an incident from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran mentions about burying the daughters alive, and the Quran says, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ. And when the girl child that was buried alive, it will be resurrected and it will be asked, who buried you alive? Was it your father? In the tafsir of this ayah, Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu says, there was a person, a sahabi RadiyAllāhu anhu, his name was Qais ibn Asim. Qais ibn Asim. He comes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam after listening to this ayah, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, now I have embraced Islam, but I have committed a grave, a heinous crime in my days of Jahiliyyah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asks him, what was it, O Qais? What was it, O Qais? He says, Ya Rasulullah, I ended up burying not one, not two, not three, not 4, not 5, 8 of my daughters alive in Jahiliyyah. 8 of my daughters, I ended up burying them alive in Jahiliyyah. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam tells him, this was done in Jahiliyyah, why don't you pay an expiation for this sin? What is the expiation he recommends? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam tells him, give out or free 8 female slaves. Free 8 female slaves. Qais radiyallahu anhu, he says, Ya Rasulullah, I am a person who deals in camels. In today's terms, I am a person who deals in vehicles. I do not possess any slaves, but I possess a lot of camels. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam now gives him the alternative. O Qais, you sacrifice 8 camels for each of the 8 daughters you buried alive and give it as sadaqah. Now Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu, he has narrated this incident to us. While narrating this incident, do you think that if he had buried his daughter alive, wouldn't he too have given out the kaffara, the expiation that was recommended by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He definitely would have. And wouldn't he also have mentioned to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, like Qais, I too buried my daughter alive? He definitely would have done it. But Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu did not do this. So this proves that Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu did not bury his daughter alive. This is a fake, blatant fabrication against Umar RadiyAllāhu anhu.